what can you expect when the deal starts going bad?
So I really love this topic because a lot of the stuff is going on right now. So I think it's so relevant. So the two things that are happening, if some people are trying to stay quiet about it, but the two things that are happening today because of the rapidly escalating debt costs, a lot of operators are under duress. So what's happening? Either they're having to cost distributions, which is in and of itself is not necessarily a bad thing. Dennis, I think you alluded to that earlier. Sometimes these properties, the performance will ebb and flow, and we should only pay what is the actual from the actual business. And so as you fluctuate, you will go through bad periods. And the prudent thing to do is to stop distributions, make sure that the property is protected, make sure the asset is protected. Making money should always be priority number two. Priority number one is to protect capital. And so stopping distributions is protecting the asset and it's protecting the investor's capital. So that's totally reasonable. Now, there are situations where some of the operators are under more duress and they're having to issue capital calls. And so what that is okay, due to higher operating expenses, maybe they're not getting the rent bumps that they projected. Now they're facing a cash crunch and they didn't set up proper reserves, or they don't have enough liquidity at the corporate level. And we can get into a little bit more, Dennis, if you want, that they're asking their investors to pony up more money. And that's a really bad thing. It's everybody's already under duress, the investors under duress, and you're basically telling them, oh, we need more money from you. This thing's not going well and we need you to help us. That's pretty much like the last thing you ever want to do. Your reputation is ruined at that point. But a lot of this stuff is going on right now, if you know it or not. Worst case, the deal in Houston, the 3,200 unit portfolio that's making the Wall Street Journal, this guy, not an operator, lost the entire portfolio to the bank, foreclosed on, the equities wiped out. Investors will never recover the money. And my heart goes out to you if you know somebody that's in those deals. It's horrible, right? So cringy. And a lot of things can go wrong, but it's what you do, what the operator can do and is willing to do to protect the investors that will determine whether that person should be in this business or not. So I'm going to share with you 4 real examples that I personally have dealt with or am I dealing with right now, to give you a flavor what could go wrong and what the differences between a good operator and a bad operator is. One situation, as I mentioned earlier, goes south. Rather than putting the investor under more duress, a good operator, a seasoned operator, has the amount of conservatism to set aside a lot of liquidity just to backstop these kind of situations that are unexpected. We can we can project all we want, but the future is uncertain. And the best way to mitigate unknown risks is to make sure you have a checkbook. Bottom line, if you can write a check, you can make problems go away. A lot of newbie operators don't even have that kind of capacity, okay? I was in this deal. The deal did not perform from day one. And this is with a very reputable operator that I will still continue to invest with today. He personally put in over $1 million of his own money on no interest to the LC to make sure that the deal is preserved and that he does not put his investors under duress. Ultimately, he was able to write the operations. It took 3 years. And this is going through a very favorable market environment. And ultimately, we were able to get out with the help from the market, cap rate compression. Investors ended up making a 1.3x return over 3 years. That's a 10% annualized return. Nothing to brag about, but it's decent. But given the situation, it could have been a lot worse had the operator not stepped in and protected the deal. I will invest with this company forever because of what this team is willing to do. And this is something that our company really believes in as well. Now, we can't guarantee all your investments, but we will do our darnest to make sure your capital is protected.